Everybody, welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm in Nottingham. That's the River Trent down there, and that is flowing very fast and very, very deep. It's flooded in many places, as have other rivers in other parts of the country. However, there's some areas that I believe are actually cut off along the River Trent just outside of Nottingham, and it's at bursting point in many others. So today I'm going to try my best to nip back around about 6 miles to the village of Burton Joyce and follow as best I can the River Trent in a westerly direction back to Trent Bridge near West Bridgeford, the home of the Nottingham Forest Football Club. Let's see what it's like back at Burton Joyce, and I'd love you to join me. And we'll be going through places such as Colwick, Netherfield and Stoke Bardolph too. A brief look at maps and I can show you where I'm beginning, where I'm going to pass through and where I shall end up. So Burton Joyce is on the top right hand side over here. I'm going to follow the River Trent downwards towards Stoke Bardolph, follow the Trent as closely as I can. From beyond Stoke Bardolph, Weir and Lock, I'm going to push on in the direction of Colwick and Netherfield, where the railway viaduct crosses the River Trent. I'll also show you some footage of the Colwick sluice gate. It was quite breezy there as well, so it's mostly drone footage around there. Then I'm going to push on to Trent Bridge, where the Nottingham Forest City Ground Football Club is, and we'll take a look just there. Along the way, I'll be including footage from previous visits to these areas, which shows how it should look in drier conditions. So to begin with, I've come to Burton Joyce and I'm stood in the middle of Station Road. And the reason I can do that is because of this. So that already gives us an idea of what we may be faced with. So I know I should be able to get to where Burton Joyce railway station is, because it's on a bit of a hump, isn't it, the track bed, and I know those services, I'm sure those services are still running. When we get to the station, I'm unsure what we're going to be faced with next. As soon as I finish that clip, a train did go over the level crossing and the barriers have gone up. I saw the barriers were flashing. I thought, oh, have they done that just to keep the road closed? But let's find out. Simply extraordinary, isn't it? The amount of water here. You should have just seen some drone footage from above showing you the extent of the water all the way around here. Now, indeed, the road is flooded. I've had a quick look at that, but I may be able to get around it on a footpath in the field beside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and follow the course of the River Trent as best I can up towards the city centre, around about where Trent Bridge is and the Forest Football Ground, and I'm going to try and take in places such as the Colwick Sluice Gate, Colwick Park, and any other nuggets I might be able to get to in between. Stoke Bardolph Lock would be nice, but I don't think I'll get near that. I'm going to push on, see if I can make my way around to probably about where the ferry boat pub is. That's probably about 3/4 of a mile away. It does look quite atmospheric, quite eerie, doesn't it? The road is submerged, probably just out of sight. Now, curiously, if you were to come down here, you're going to be skating into it because it is frozen, look. All around, look at those there. They're quite, I'll try not to land on my backside. Quite arty, aren't they? And the water going down there. The footpath I want is just there. So, level crossing there. I'll try my best to follow it around and hopefully I'll pick you up a bit further down. So this may be as far as I'm going to get for the time being. I was thinking I may have been able to get round there when I saw there's a little section there which is out of the water, like a hump from up there where the railway station level crossing was. It did look like, oh yeah, I might be able to get down there, but this is looking a bit impossible now, isn't it? Because not really sure how far that's going to go, and I've only really got that bit beyond the traffic cones. But as I come away from the road, you can see it's flooded over there. So I think the best thing to do, let's put the drone up and see what it's like around that corner. I was fortunate enough to get along a footpath which sort of, you got Burton Joyce over there, the Trent's flowing over there, and the ferry boat inn or pub was just over there as well. And this should take me to, I think it's Stoke Bardolph Lane, right next to where the sewage works are, and we should be able to get back to the river again. So I've come from over there, across this drain, and on this footpath. The end of here should be our River Trent. And on the right, look, there's a track or a road that you could normally walk across or walk along. But that's flooded and frozen. So I'm not very optimistic down there for being able to progress along the Trent to where the ferry boat is. Okay, this is quite promising. If we get around this, we should be able to get back onto the road. So I've made it as far as Stoke Bardolph now, and my feet are still dry. It's amazing. Ferry boat is next to me. I haven't been there for a few years, but I can see some food advertisements there. Ooh, slippy. Nearly went then. I'll keep that in. Lots of wildfowl here. I've got some footage of when I bought a boat down here, which I'm going to mix in with this again, so you can see what it's like at normal levels. I think it would have been about May or June time, so levels probably lower than they would normally be at this time of year, for example, because it's the drier months. But I'm going to try and push on towards Stoke Bardolph Lock now. A bit of luck, we might get near it, and there is the Weir. So the footpath beyond the ferry boat at Stoke Bardolph is fully accessible currently. It's above the waterline, probably about 3 feet or so. I mean, flooding's not good, is it? But it certainly adds a different dynamic and beauty, doesn't it? Especially on a cold, sunny winter's day. Okay, looks like we're out of luck here. We haven't got very far at all, and the path or the road does dip down, unfortunately, allowing the water to completely take hold going forward. There's a little bit of grass just there on the right hand side, but I did just ask a lady. I says, if it cut off down there, she says yeah, you can't get very far. So I'm going to have to follow the road around and see if we can pick it up around the bend. Sadly, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Stoke Bardolph Lock. This is where the fields have flooded. Line of trees over there. Stoke Bardolph Lock is immediately the other side of them. It's all there. There's a bit of area which is dried out, but the water has come in from over there towards where Stoke Bardolph village is, and it's flooded all this section. So that bit that was cut off that I couldn't carry on walking, that's where the water's got into this field just here. I don't think I'm going to get to the lock. I can't see any way of doing that, unfortunately. I've just spoke to a chap. He says he's walked this bit here towards the lock and actually got there. So yeah, it's ice, but there's no water underfoot. So you can see where it's been broken. But that's great. Made it over. It weren't dangerous. It was just crunching ice. Probably just don't try it at home. And just through here, we're probably going to be one of the very few people to get through to Stoke Bardolph Lock today. Oh, look at this. I mean, you know it's going to be high, but that's significantly high. I'm sure I've got some photos I can add on of where the water level normally is, and it's frozen over too. Let's go look at the lock. Look at that. So same level of water in the lock chamber as you'd expect. Apologies for the glare. It's beautifully sunny. There's the lock keeper's cabin up there. Let's have a nosy around to the other side. Water level's probably about 3 foot lower on the other side. But that does look angry over there, doesn't it? There's that flow of water just churning away from the weir, which is just out of sight behind there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it because it is all chained off to get across the locks. Right, so the next stop would be the Netherfield Lagoons and Colwick Railway Viaduct. The same gentleman that spoke to me about the field, he said that it is inaccessible along the river. As I'd expect, the path does dip down a little bit just before we get to the viaduct from memory. So we're going to have to go back to the road and try and follow it around to the Netherfield Lagoons and try and get to the railway viaduct just that way. So now right on the approach to the River Trent again, where Rectory Junction Railway Viaduct is. I'm looking forward to seeing this, and I hope you are too. So a lot of water present at the Rectory Railway Viaducts just here. You can see the line heading off towards the left, that is the one that heads off in the direction of Grantham and beyond. The one on the right hand side is the long disused branch towards Cotgrave Colliery. So leaving Rectory viaduct behind, I then pushed on to the Colwick sluice gate, and look, you can see the water has gone onto the grassed embankment and everywhere looks very flat and level. From above you can see Home Pierpont, that is all the same level, and you've got Home Lock down there as well, with all the boats not going anywhere. They're not going to be going anywhere for some time. View looking northwards towards Nottingham, you can see those narrow boats on the pontoons on the right. That must be quite awful at this time. There's a little look at what Colwick Park actually looks like. And from here, I'm now going to set forward towards Nottingham at the Trent Bridge and the city ground. So now you find me on our final stretch of our Flooded River Trent walk. This is the Nottingham Beeston Canal, of course, that is perfectly fine, normal water levels. But it's taking me down to Meadow Lane Lock, opposite the Nottingham Forest football ground, because the water levels on the other side, as you'd expect, are going to be far from normal. That is absolutely the best place to be moored up right now, isn't it? Nice and safe on the canal. Meadow Lane lock gates are open, as they quite often are. That water's quite dank, isn't it? I can see the River Trent water raging on the other side of these gates. These locks aren't going to be open for a long time. It's like there's a damaged paddle. There always seems to be a damaged paddle at these locks. You see the red marker there, look for danger. That water is usually a lot further down. I've got some photos of what it normally looks like, so I'll pop them on at some point. Let's go and have a look over that side where the city ground is. So that's the other side of the lock gates at Meadow Lane. Look, those gates are probably only showing less than half of what is normally present. Take you over to the other side. I think the water has dropped since last night somewhat. I'm sure the water was a smidgen higher than that. There was not so much grass showing. Those floating pontoons just there as well, they're usually way further down and not at the angle that they are. There's Trent Bridge in the distance, looking rather resplendent in the late afternoon light. And see some professional photographs being taken in front of the city ground as well. Just look at the speed that the water is racing below Trent Bridge. Just think how fast it is below the surface. Again, the speed is phenomenal, isn't it? Hitting the buttresses in the centre. So absolutely no way through. I have seen it higher than this before. Not so much higher, but that's the path you've just seen me walk down. And that is going below the bridge, Trent Bridge, through to the other side. So from here on in, I'm going to just go back to the city ground, Forest football ground, and I'll finish off probably about where the Grantham Canal is. And down there we have lock number 1 on the Grantham Canal, but there's very much in water because of the high water levels. So that's something I've not seen before. I think I've seen it with a little bit in there before, but I can show you down there. Look, it's even got ice in there. That's very, very deep. That's what it looks like on the other side. River raging through. That's brilliant, isn't it? So that's it. We've followed the River Trent from Burton Joyce through Stoke Bardolph, Colwick, Netherfield, and onto the River Trent at Nottingham by the city ground near West Bridgeford. Had to do a few diversions, but it's been good. If you've got any further suggestions, please drop them in the comments down below. And if you want to see a lot more of this kind of thing, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Thank you to all channel members, and you can also follow me on Facebook at the link coming up on screen down below right now. I'd love to see you on there. That's where most of the updates, where I'm going and where I've been, pop up. See you again. Bye bye.